Hello and welcome back to my garage here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. As you can see here, these are the two cars that I picked up in the barn last week, and they're both complete now. This is a Chieftain Bandit Shiv, which I guess is one of the variants of the in-game vanilla car, and this is a Dodge Charger. Found both of these in the same barn. I have changed a few things. These rims are not the standard. It comes by default with the Rim Atlanta, which is one of the in-game vanilla wheels. And this is, I think, Retro 6 or Retro 2. I forget, but I like this rim a lot. I think it looks good on this kind of car. It came with a V8 OHV mag, which is kind of a disappointing engine from where I'm sitting. So I put in a V8 OHV Hemi. Significantly more powerful, a lot more fun. Same thing with the Bandit over here. This had, I believe, a V8 OHV 6p in it originally, and since I was building a Hemi for the other car, I built two of them at once. Basically, I bought two parts. I bought two of each part as I was buying parts. Built one engine, and then immediately built the second one. And since the second one I had all the parts in my inventory, it was like, boom, done. Quickly slapped it all together. Both of these cars, however, I came out kind of an interesting way. You'll notice they're 100% across the board. This car is the factory color. It was red. I left it red because red is my favorite color, and I'll paint everything red if you leave me alone. Here we have 117,441 for this car. This car is also the factory color. I did add the black stripes as an accent. I think you can also get white stripes, but I thought it looked pretty good like this. This one, with the new engine, is 117,633. Now, I thought that was a bit odd. Both of these cars are very nearly identical. This one is about $200 more than that one. I just thought that was interesting. Kind of unique. But anyway, these can both go. 633. The other one was what, 414? 441, so 613 and 441. I don't know if you can hear that. My cat is putting in his opinion. We'll go ahead and sell that there. I believe he thinks he needs food, but there is food in his bowl, so I'm not giving him more. Anyway, I don't have any extra. No, I have a case. Let's see if we get a barn find map in here. No. Timing chain, ignition coil, and it looks like an engine head. Yeah, engine head. Okay, let's put this stuff in the storage. Okay, so to the junkyard we go. Okay, it looks like a 370Z. Yeah, it's definitely a Nissan. What are you? Nissan 370Z, sure enough. What's that? That looks like a Diablo, or... No, it's not a Diablo. Aventador. Okay. See some cars over there. This is an in-game car. Mayan M3. And this, I think, is a Reno Piccolo. Yep. And what do we got here? This is a Diablo. Yeah. A police variant. And this, I think, is a Corvette. Yep. What are you? Nissan Gtr and Porsche 914. Ain't getting a lot of really interesting stuff here. Which one is this? Is this this is the standard 914. I think I'll go ahead and do this one. This is kind of a, I mean, this is kind of a neat, this is a mod, of course. It's kind of a neat little car. Okay, so it's 21,000, call it 22,000 here. That's what we're paying for it. And we'll see how much it comes out to. The GTR, this actually, I know, this is the V-spec. The Liberty Walk is worth more. I've done a few of those. The Corvette I've done. Diablo, I don't really care about the police version. The Piccolo and the M3. The M3, I think this is like their analog to a BMW of some kind. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and we'll just go ahead and do the 914. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. And we'll pull off the body parts. Doesn't have much in the way of body parts on it, it seems. The engine is tucked in back here. There's the fuel tank way over there. And I don't see... I think I've done this car like one time. So I don't remember all the details. There's no brake servo, just a battery, no radiator. Okay. Alright then, so let's go ahead and move it over here. We're gonna need to clean it up. I've had this mod in here for a long time. I've never really, I think I did one once a while ago, just for the sake of argument, and I haven't done it again since. And I'm not super familiar with how it comes out, or how to put it together for that matter. Oh, that blue is nice. I think I'll stick with that. Something broke. I saw something break. What do we get here? Trunk, tail light, headlight, steering wheel. Okay, so we know we need to buy the window glass, and I'm pretty sure that this thing didn't have any doors on it, so we'll need to buy the doors. And that engine cover didn't have one of those. So what else do I need? I got the steering wheel, left headlight, left tail light. And the trunk. So, okay, I start putting stuff on because I'm not sure what I have. But I repaired some stuff. Ah, that's that door. I saw it. I was like, I don't know what that is. That's the door. I assume I need the mirror since I didn't have any doors. License plate. I don't remember if this thing has a front plate or not. Ah, it's got a removable top. Fender, nope. What about that? Nope. So front left fender, front right fender. No front license plate. Okay, that looks pretty good. Global body condition 89. So what are we missing? Oh, I know what the trunk lid. Engine cover, seat typhoon. Interesting. Rear license plate, engine cover. I got the engine cover. Now, does that open? It does not. I think I can get at it through there. Yep. And then the plate. Global body condition 100%. Perfecto. That leaves the steering wheel and the seat. I think I remember this. I think I remember this now. The seat, yeah, see that? The seat, I guess it requires it to have a seat installed, but the seats are actually modded as part of the interior. So now we can move it and paint it. Yeah, I think this blue is a nice color. I think I'll stick with this. I probably should have looked to see which roof it had. What's the other piece? Was it? Because there were two of these. Right fender B. I wonder what that looks like. I think that'll paint blue like the rest of the car. If it does, I'm going to stick with it. Yes. That looks better. I like that more. It's like it has a. I think the other roof is like if you want to do a car that's has a removable roof panel, and this is more like a solid piece. I think I like these wheels too. So it's a rear engine, or the engine is in the rear. But I imagine this goes together weird because it's probably doesn't have the axles. Yeah, there's no drive axle actually. I can see there's no drive axle. And it's a full rear suspension arm, rear end here, I see. See, look at here's the engine and here's the transmission, and it's like connected directly to the differential. That's not connected either. See that? I mean, I see what they're going for here to show this as a rear-engine vehicle. The engine is in the back, the transmission is connected to the rear axle. They should have at least put drive axles connecting from the crossmember to the wheels, because right now they're not. I mean, the drivetrain is not connected. This is like that. What was that other mod I did a long time ago? I think it was the Dodge Durango. That's it. And the engine and transmission weren't connected to the drive shaft. It wasn't connected to the rear end. It was all-wheel drive, but the front wheels weren't connected to anything. And it was like that car should. I mean, it wouldn't be able to move at all under its own power. This thing doesn't have. There was no header on that side either, so no header. It's gonna look pretty. It's gonna look pretty complete when it's all back in there. Right now, there's parts missing and stuff's not hooked up. I can see that there's no. Well, I know that this car is a rear wheel. I know this car is a rear wheel drive in real life. So there's no. I mean, there's no front. There's no front drive axle hooked up, which is fine. There shouldn't be one, unless they use like the chassis from the. And actually, I don't know how old this mod is either. I do kind of think that it would be appropriate to redo it using the Porsche parts, because I think it might fit better underneath there rather than shoehorning the V6 in there. I think this thing had a flat 6. Not sure though, I'd have to look. It's been a long time since I worked on a 914. They used to be fairly common when I was growing up. I knew a couple of people who had them. Everybody always called it the poor man's Porsche. The 914 and the 924. Those were the ones that were less expensive than, say, your 911s or the 928, which was out of everybody's reach. Okay, so all that stuff is out. Now I need to start processing everything. I got the rear bushings and the front bushings out, so I know I need 8 of these. And then the regular bushings are going to be like, let's see, that's 12. 3 times 6 is 18, 19, 20 rubber bushings. And buy those now before I lose track of it. Okay, I need a full set of disc brakes. I'm gonna buy all of that. Whoops! I bought more brake discs than I need, and I need the tie rods. And I pushed the wrong button. Okay, brakes. Let's flush the old stuff. Yeah, I bought 4 brake discs. I don't need 4 of those. And then let's narrow this down a tiny bit. Tie rods, sway bars. Okay, so front sway bar, rear sway bar B. And for suspension, I need a set of those for the front, and I need a set of these things for the back. Rear shock absorber A. Let's see here. Rear shock absorber A. Click on suspension. Get rid of the spring caps. That rack, I think I'll just flush that. It's 6%. It's probably not going to be repairable. Okay, that gets us down to assembling these things. So for hubs, we're going to need 4 caps and 4 bearings. And we might actually get this. We might actually get these things back. We'll see. Oops, let's get the gearbox. We need to replace all of those parts. And that should be those, yep. Get those done, get rid of that. And that. Gearbox B, V6b. I'll try and repair the other one. I think I'm down, let's see, fuel tank C. Need to replace that. Interesting that they use fuel tank C because fuel tank C doesn't have a place for the fuel pump. 9% on that rim. But that means we won't have a fuel pump in this car. 7%. Shouldn't even bother. That one we should be able to repair. I'm going to reuse these rims. I like this rim. I think it'll look good on this car. And 21. So 2 of them probably not. 2 of them we should be able to repair. What was on here? Standard tires or sport tires? Sport tires. I'm going to put sport tires back on it though. I don't think it's going to be powerful enough to require race tires. And these are 205 55 16. Look at that, it's $2,000 for 4 of these. Uh, 205 55 16. Match the tire size. And that should get us down to the stuff that's potentially repairable. We'll just pound through this real quick. I only saw 2 things fail to repair entirely. Let's see, so we didn't get to repair the gearbox, which is a bummer. Only $92 for scrap value. Rear suspension arm A. Let's get these rims. Classic 516. And that was rear suspension arm A. I saw two of those. Rear suspension arm, rear upper. And there was a rear knuckle housing. And there was also a upper suspension arm, front exhaust section C. Front exhaust section C, there we go. Alright, so we have now repaired or replaced everything in the chassis. Get these wheels painted, and get the tires mounted, get the engine yanked out, rebuild that, and we're set. These are the new ones. You can always tell the new ones because they come 100. Their brightness is always 100%. The repaired ones are always blacked out. You know, I just had a thought. I wonder if it's possible to paint these fenders. I want to try something here and see if it'll let me paint them. It will. I wonder if I can paint that something. Yeah, it won't change the outer color, it's just the edge. That's a bummer. I was thinking if I could paint those body parts something to set them off better. Because like the Porsche 928 mod that I have, the spoiler on the back actually will paint with the rest of the car. But you can detach the spoiler and paint it separately. So I have a Porsche 928 in my collection that's red. What the hell? Rim Classic. Or did I select separate? I did. For a second I thought, oh my god, I bought something wrong. Oh, anyway, I was saying that I have a Porsche 928 in my collection that's red. And when I first painted it, it painted the spoiler red. But then I took the spoiler off and went back into the paint shop and I could paint the spoiler separately. So I have the spoiler black on a red car, which I think looks really, really good. And actually I think that they did that anyway. Although I don't think... I have personally seen Porsche 928s, but they were I haven't seen a red one. I've seen like dark blue or dark gray, or I saw one that was kind of a brownish, like a deep chocolate brown, and the spoilers on them were sort of like a plastic gray, not like a composite gray, but sort of like kind of gray, almost like the gray of this hood on the wheel balancer, and it was clearly different from the rest of the car. I didn't get a good enough look at it to be able to tell. But I think at least you can paint the individual body part to your taste and make the car look nicer, in your opinion at least, in my opinion anyway. And since it's a car for my collection, that was the only opinion that mattered. One of these days I'm going to fill this whole room up with Porsches. I think I have to check my inventory. I'm pretty sure I have a couple of 911s that are still waiting to be rebuilt. Oop, I got to get the battery off the charger before I forget. Actually, I was really annoyed because one time I was recording and I went to a barn find and there was a Porsche 911 Turbo in there, which was super cool. And I did a whole thing on it and I was really happy about it. And then when I finished, I found out that my recording software didn't record anything, which was infuriating. And I built a beast of a computer so that I can do recording stuff. I mean, the CPU on this thing is way stronger than my old one was. Video card is kind of mediocre, but it does the job. Actually, since this isn't, I bet the rear wheels are going to go on here, actually, because this isn't set up like the standard rear-wheel drive car, where it needs to have the drive axles mounted before the wheels can go on, because there's no drive axle. So the rear wheels and stuff will be on before the engine is in, like that. I wonder if I can even put in the exhaust section. I bet I can. Yeah, the engine will just go in on top of it all, unless it's going to make a fool out of me, and complain at me about having something in the way when I go to put the engine in. But we'll see. I'll jump off that bridge when we come to it. Yep, that looks good. Yeah, it was pretty much chroming anything looks good. I mean, there are of course exceptions. First time with my new lips. There are of course exceptions. To things that mostly look good most of the time. But for the most part, if you put chrome on something, it's going to look good. There's a couple of rims in the game that are pretty ugly, no matter what you do with them. I wonder if I can put the battery in from down here. Sure can. Okay. It shouldn't have anything. Yep, just have transmission related stuff there. Looks pretty good now, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, I'm not a particularly huge fan of the 914 in general, but this comes out looking pretty nice when it's all cleaned up. So let's do this thing now. If I can remember what to take off first. Probably got to get the belt. Yep. Okay, that water pump we should be able to repair. All these rollers we're going to have to throw away. The same thing with the cam gears. I didn't look before. Yeah, there's no oil pan. So the engine wouldn't run in any case. Those we can replace. We might be able to repair this head cover. So it's got like 4 head covers. The camshaft bearing is going to have to go. Are there any spark plugs in it? The spark plugs go in these deep wells here. There aren't any in there. That's good. Okay, turn it over. I see camshaft bearing caps. Let's pause for a second and clean this stuff up. I'm pretty sure there's, and actually I know there's more of these rollers that I'm going to need to get. I never can remember exactly how many this stupid engine takes. And then the belt was this one right here, I think. I hope. Yep. Okay, I wanted to repair these just to see if they were worth anything. $100 for that repaired, $14 not repaired, so that's worth doing. Need 4 of those camshaft bearings. And then I need 4 of these camshafts. And let's see, there's an exhaust, 2 of those exhaust manifolds. I'm sure I'm going to need the power steering pump and the throttle manifolds, fuel rails. I'm going to need both of these heads. I'm going to need spark plugs and ignition coils. So now, let's see, this sells for $55 for scrap. $100 repaired, $400 repaired. So that's totally worth doing. These head covers, there's like 4 of them. I never can remember which one is which. Let's see about these things. 18% on that one. And 10% on that one. Let's see, what's this? 8. There's no oil. There was no oil pan, so this stuff was probably just sitting directly on the ground. Pistons, of course, are going in the trash. What's the crankshaft? 11% on the crankshaft, 34% on the block, so that should be good. Should have gotten the pistons while I was in here. I think it's actually the oil. I think it's actually the oil, the i6 oil filter for this. Okay. We'll see what we can get here. Maybe the crankshaft will be repairable. No. One each of the caps. So crankshaft V6b. And then one cap, one of those caps, and 5 of these. That should give us. This isn't everything. There's some more. I think there's some more fiddly bits on the front of the engine that I don't have yet, like the timing covers. But this and that arm right there, I know I don't have. But this will get us going. I think it's a roller B right there. No. And an alternator. Let's see, arm V6b. I'm pretty sure, I know I'm going to need at least one roller B. I'm going to go ahead and grab one here. You know what? I don't think I have a fuel filter. Yep, don't have one. Oh man, I backed all the way out. I didn't mean to. What I would like to find in the junkyard one of these days is another Bentley T-Series. It's been a little while since I worked on one last, and I have just a ton of T-Series Plus quality parts stored away in my warehouse, and I would like to use them to get rid of them. Now the T-Series isn't particularly valuable, but I think I don't know this for sure. But I believe what the plus quality parts do is increase the value slightly. And I'd like to build another one of those T-Series with as many plus quality parts as I can cram into it, and see what it does to the value. Because I think it's about 90 grand fully done. So it's not super exciting. I mean, it's not a speed demon or a powerhouse. It's a luxury car. So there ain't that much you can do with it, really. Oh, is this one of those engines that takes a thermostat in the back? I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think there was a thermostat in here, but I thought I would check since I was there. Okay, V6b Thermostat. See, I need these timing covers, and there's like a, let's see, serpentine belt A, I think. Because the B belt goes underneath the cover and the A belt goes on top, because it talks to the alternator and the power steering pump. And there's probably a belt tensioner or something that I'm forgetting. This engine didn't have the exhaust headers on it at all, so these are new to the engine block entirely. You can't repair the pipes anyway. And here's what I was talking about the spark plugs. They sit down in these wells, and I like to go ahead and put that stuff in early, because once you build up the engine head, it's a little bit harder to see them. And here it's really easy. They're out in the open. But once they're underneath everything, it's a little bit more, takes just a little bit more effort to get everything plugged in. There's the camshaft cover, the bearing caps, camshaft bearing. This one at least is another one of those ones. It's a one big piece instead of a bunch of little ones. And this is where I'm going to need the individual head covers, because there's 4 of them that go on here. I think I have one head cover C, and I'm going to need like there's one that has the hole for the oil. So let's see, I need an A. Yeah, it's 2 A's, a B, and a C. That's what it takes. This is going to be hard to get to put oil in it too. And you know, we've been working on the back side of the engine this whole time. There's all this stuff on the front that still needs to be done. Did I buy the wrong cam gear? Looks like I did. I think there's a belt tensioner that goes there. Yep, sure enough. I think I inadvertently bought exactly the right number of rollers. And I think that's everything. Make a quick turn around the engine here, make sure that everything looks like it's in place. Yeah, I think we got it all. Starter, yeah, see, I did. And I bought exactly the right number of rollers. That surprised me. Let's see if we can get to this thing. I have to take the engine cover off, unless I can touch the engine from in here. No, I don't think I can. There we go. Okay, now we can stick that back in there. Can't really see the engine either. There's no way to open that flap, so you can't even really see it when it's there. I want to do this. That should do us. That should be a total 100% rebuild there. Yep, she's 100% across the board. Perfect. And let's go and test it out, see what it's got. Starting with 251, you get 400 and something probably. about what I thought. I was guessing a little bit over 400. I want to see what the view from inside of it is like. Can you even sit in it? I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't touch the seat to sit in it. Oh, there it is. So our point of view is like inside the seat. It's not a bad mod, really. I don't have any real problem with it. I just some of it is very odd. This is odd. I mean, we're embedded in the seat here, but it looks right. I mean, it's like 1974, I think. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I really like the color. I like how it looks. It came out really well. All right, let's go ahead and test it out now. Okay, here we are at the track. And yep, it looks nice. The blue could be a little bit richer maybe, but I think it looks pretty good. I think it works. Let's see how much speed it has. It should still be pretty controllable. Oh, I think we're chirping the wheels a little bit there when it shifted gears. It still looks funny to me that they go down the track with nobody in them. You'd think they'd at least put some kind of a model in there, just some generic driver, so that it's not looking like a big remote control car. Can't quite top 160. That's fine though, really. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's a good little car. Okay, so I made a point when I looked at the info sheet before to not see what the value was. I rounded the number off to $22,000 is what we paid for it in the junkyard, and we are, wow, $191,000. Man, that's a hell of a return on investment right there. I really should. I mean, I have no idea how much I spent on parts and repairs and whatnot, but to buy a car for $22,000 and turn it over for $191,000. I mean, even if you if you assumed you spent nothing on parts and repairs and labor, that's still that's at least $170,000 in just pure profit on the car. And it's not really. It's more like even if I'm super generous and say I spent $10,000 in parts and repairs and labor, it's still $160,000 on the car. And I don't think I spent that much. I'm quite sure I didn't spend that much money on parts and repairs and whatnot. So, time to sell it. I see this thing in the junkyard all the time. If I ever decide I want one, I can grab one. So, $191,000. Goodbye. I'll fix up cars and sell them for that much all day long. And that will go ahead and wrap this up. So, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you again here for our next junkyard adventure. So on that note, bye for now.